I have tried so many diets over the years, and I finally found the perfect diet that helps to eliminate period pain and get rid of those awful endometriosis symptoms. So today I'm going to share with you my updated endometriosis diet and what I'm eating to have healthy cycles that are free of pain and easy to get through. So in my last video, I talked a lot about some of the foods that I eliminated, and a lot has changed since then. So I'm going to update you on those changes, what I have eliminated from my diet, what I'm including in my diet, and stick around to the end because I'm going to share with you some of the practices that you can turn to find a perfect diet for you. So over the years, I have tried a paleo diet, keto diet, raw vegan diet, and I would say the best diet I found out of all of those is none of them. The best diet for me has been the Raven diet. And at the end, I'm going to share with you how to find your own path to intuitive eating and how you can kind of incorporate some practices that can help you find the diet for you. But first, let's talk about what I've eliminated from my diet. In the last video, I talked about gluten and a few other things. I think at the time I was still eating goat milk dairy, but a lot has changed since then. So the main things that I've eliminated from my diet are factory farmed meats, and this is something that I eliminated many years ago and really helped me to see a big difference in how I was feeling and how I was experiencing my cycles. So factory farmed meats are really just not good for animals. They're not good for the people who are eating them, and for me personally, on an ethical level and just on an energetic and just being connected to nature kind of level, when I think about the pain and trauma that an animal has experienced, I don't want to actually eat that. So eliminating factory farmed meats was a big part of my healing process, and I did that a long time ago when I was exploring the paleo diet. And I also eliminated things like not factory farmed fish, but farmed fish was a big elimination as well. And I found that farmed fish causes the same amount of inflammation as factory farmed meats. So those things are completely out of my diet and have been for many years. I've also eliminated dairy, and I do not have goat's milk dairy anymore. I've eliminated dairy completely because I found that it was just still too filled with hormones in order to be a healthy part of my diet. And when you think about dairy and the fact that it is basically just fat and protein, and hormones are stored in the fat. So whether it's the natural hormones that are produced by an animal to help the baby animal bond with its mother, or the natural hormones that are produced in an animal to help that baby animal grow really large in a short amount of time, those things have an impact on our bodies. So I don't incorporate dairy into my diet anymore. So there are two more things that I've eliminated from my diet that are pretty big that were still in my diet in the last video. One is eggs and the other is oils. And these things have helped me to reduce so much inflammation and reduce pain tremendously. So oil, I think, was the one that really was surprising for me because I was eating oils that were considered to be safe for cooking with. So I was using like the high heat oils for cooking, and then I was just using olive oil to do things like drizzle on my popcorn to season it. And I miss popcorn so much because now I can't eat it at all because of the elimination of oils. But I have really benefited from eliminating oils from my diet. I've seen a huge reduction in inflammation. I actually lost 8 pounds within about a week and a half of eliminating oils, which is a pretty big deal because I wasn't doing it to lose weight. I was doing it to explore what would be best for my body and for my menstrual cycles. And once that happened, it was just so apparent to me that it was something that was causing me a lot of inflammation. And I've done a lot of research and just kind of talked to people in my community and talked to other healers that I know about what could have possibly been going on with the oils. one thing that I knew was that a lot of oils are contaminated with unhealthy and inflammatory oils. So, for example, if you're using olive oil to cook with, a lot of times that olive oil is contaminated with unhealthy oils like soybean or cottonseed or those really inflammatory oils. So it's a little bit hard to find pure oils. And then also some oils can be contaminated with things like gluten. And so for me, eliminating it just helped me feel better. And I'm not really thinking too much about the science behind it at this point because I feel great. So those are the main things that I've eliminated. The other things that I do not include in my diet are processed foods. And I think for me, it's been really easy to eliminate processed foods because once I eliminated oils, that was like the last of me eating processed foods at all anymore, because the last processed foods that I was eating was just like tortilla chips. And I love tortilla chips. I think they're amazing and they're such a wonderful crunchy vehicle for mango salsa that I love to make in the summertime. But since I've eliminated oils, that pretty much eliminates all packaged foods as well. Other things that I still don't include in my diet are tapioca or yuca and collard greens. And those are things that I had to do a little bit of digging and just a little bit of self-exploration in order to figure out and just find out that they were bad for me. So those are the things that I've eliminated. What am I eating? How am I nourishing my body? Because I'm sure when you think about those things that I've eliminated, oh, and one more thing that I've eliminated is alcohol. I do not have alcohol in my diet, so I still have my herbal tinctures. Those are alcohol based, but I don't drink wine anymore. I will still cook with wine sometimes because that cooks the alcohol off, but I pretty much don't have alcohol in my diet at all anymore, except in the form of herbal tinctures that get diluted in water when I take them. So those are the things that I've eliminated. And what am I eating? So I have a really well-rounded diet, I think. I have recently reincorporated meat into my diet. I've also incorporated wild fish because I'm living in Florida now and I have access to really amazing high quality wild caught fish. So that has been a really nice addition to my diet. And I basically just focus on eating whole foods and foods that are ethically raised. When it comes to animal products, I really try to stick with things that are wild or at the least free range. So I still don't eat chicken or pork or beef anymore. I only eat lamb and fish at this point when it comes to animal products. And I started incorporating those into my diet because I found that after I bleed, I really just need that extra support. And it's been really, really nourishing for me to have those in my diet. And so most of the time I'm still eating a pretty vegan diet, except for those days after my period when I'm including some more animal products, and the days leading up to my period when I'm including a little bit of fish. And then for the rest of the month, I'm mostly plant-based and just focus on eating whole foods. And it's been really, really nourishing and really amazing. One of the main things that I have loved lately is incorporating chickpea wraps, and they're so easy to make. I'll have to do a separate video on my morning routine and how I make my chickpea wraps and how I make my veggie dishes that I eat in my mornings. But in a typical day, I will have like a chickpea wrap in the morning stuffed with veggies or any leftover foods that I had from the night before. And then for a snack, I will have just like fresh fruit. I am someone who loves fresh fruit and I don't see it as an issue in my diet because I'm eating whole foods. And for me, that's what's most important. I do pay attention to when a a fruit is really sugary. And for example, I don't eat grapes that are really sugary. And many years I wasn't eating grapes at all because I noticed that they were just so sweet. And lately they've been kind of normal again, so I can eat them without having that sugar crash. So that's been really nice to incorporate into my diet. And then I also love to eat fresh mangoes in the summertime. I see a lot of stuff out there that is demonizing fruit, and I get it. I get that fruit does have sugar, and for some people who are having issues with blood sugar and those kinds of things, and having issues with candida or any kind of intestinal things that are happening, it does help to eliminate fruit for that reason. But for me, now we'll kind of go into like how I eat and how I craft my diet. I like to eat things that are aligned with my ancestry. And my ancestors ate mangoes. My ancestors ate all kinds of tropical fruit. And for me, it's really nourishing to eat those things. One, because they're wild and I'm eating mango literally straight off the tree. And I'm eating other fruits like soursop and nessberries and just all these delicious, amazing fruits that are, they're sweet and they're delicious and they're juicy and they're full of minerals, and they're summertime things, and they're things that I like to incorporate into my diet as a snack because for me, if I'm not eating processed food and not eating things that are causing me inflammation, that's the most important thing. And so my diet right now is focused on whole and fresh foods, fresh fruit, fresh vegetables, and I try to eat things as fresh as possible. So for me, eating a fruit off of the tree is better than eating something that's been sitting on a shelf for who knows how long and has been processed. And that's just how I think about food and how I think about crafting a diet that works for me. So I also look at my menstrual cycle to craft my diet. And what that means is when I am considering a food that could be possibly problematic for me, then I'll eliminate it for my whole menstrual cycle and then reincorporate it on like the third day of my period. And this really helps me to know if it's going to cause an issue, because if it does cause a problem, I will feel it. I will feel pain or depression or anxiety or any number of symptoms if I reincorporate that food and it's something that just doesn't work for me. So that's how I kind of craft my diet. I like to focus on whole foods. I like to focus on things that are part of my ancestry and that my ancestors would have eaten. And then I like to just work with my own body and eat intuitively based on my menstrual cycle. So that's the update on my endometriosis diet and the diet for healthy menstrual cycles. I hope that this is helpful for you and that you learned something new today, and definitely try exploring. There is no one diet that works for everyone. I can say that the worst diets for me were keto and raw vegan. The absolute worst. And the best diets for me were the ones where I allowed myself to explore and to find out what actually works for my body and to learn to discern when I was eating a food out of an emotional attachment versus something that was actually nourishing for my body. So try exploring what works for you. And if you'd like me to make a video on intuitive eating, definitely let me know. I'm so happy to do that for you. If you like this, definitely comment and like and subscribe. It really helps my channel to grow. And I'm just looking forward to sharing more with you about how to support your healthy menstrual cycle. Okay, I'll see you again soon. Bye.